Hello everyone, this is Calvin, Professor C here. So, I have not done a market update in terms of real estate market update and interest rate market update for a while. So today we are going to do a market update October 2021. Haven't done it for a while because there are so many things going on in the mortgage world that is more interesting than talking about the real estate market and the interest rate trends. However, it is actually, the real estate market and the interest rate trends is also important for us, mortgage agent, because, if you do not know the trends and the market, then you have no topics to talk to the client, and when they talk about that, you do not know what they're talking about, then that's not good. That shows that you're not professional enough, because you should know these things. Just like if you talk to a chef about, Kentucky Fried Chicken and they don't know what you're talking about, that's not good. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some trends. So the first one we will look at is the real estate market and how it looks like. I actually taken this graph from a friend of mine. I need to give them credit. It's from Living Realty. I find that this present the information much easier than the original wording of it, which is here, right? So would you rather read this thing, or you just rather want to look at this graph, right? So that's good. And I'm using the Toronto market as an indicator, but all the major urban center in Canada is seeing similar growth, so I just use Toronto as a indicator. So as you can see, the average home price went up 18.3% in GTA, Toronto area. That's year over year. And very interestingly, like I like to point out is the sales here actually, the number of sales actually dropped 18% year over year. So, you might think, oh my gosh, the sale dropped 18%. The real estate market is, crashing, is slowing down so much, right? And a lot of clients would actually think that if they do not understand how the market works. Right, and it could, if you just look at one number, it could means that the market is cooling down like crazy, and the sales is only like 9,000 sale for the month of September. However, if you look at all the other stuff combined, especially with the price increased by 18%, you will see that actually what is happening is the supply is very low, but the demand is, as high as before or even higher. So that the number of transactions actually dropped, but the price actually went up, right? So it's just a basic supply and demand, correlation. The supply dropped, but the demand increased, the price increased, but the number of transactions would actually decrease. And if you also look at this numbers, the number of new listings actually dropped by 34%. That's a lot. That's 1/3, right? And I mean, think about it. If I tell you I'm going to cut 1/3 of your salary, right, we will cry, right? So that dropped a lot. That also reinforced what I just talked about. The supply side of the equation dropped a lot. Not a lot of house is on the market for sale, so everybody would need to pay more to to buy the house that they want. And the average, as you can see, the condo price is not rising as much as the detached home, but that's year over year. So that's, I would say that's logical because, back then it's still under the COVID influence. People don't want to live in the condo because, they are confined into a like 600 square feet box, and going up and down the elevator takes like, you have to line up for 15 minutes or so. So everybody want to buy a house because then they can just go out, they can go to the backyard and kind of relax a bit, no mask required and all that stuff. So as you can see, the average detached home price actually went up by 19.6%. That's good. I like it. That's pretty nice. So overall, that's how it works. As you can see, the average price on September 9, 2019 is 840,000. 2020 is 960, and September is 1136, 1.1 million. So imagine you bought a house 2 years ago at 840, and now it's 1.1. Would you be happy? I would be, and that's why I always said that real estate is a great investment. And that is a reason why it is called real estate, because a lot of the house is making a lot of people a lot of money and a lot of wealth. Anyway, let's look at the interest rate trends, right? So the thing that I think, jump out to me is the inflation number from Statistics Canada, which is here, 4.4%. That's high. In fact, that's the highest since February 2003. And probably a lot of you might not even be born yet. So if you drive around, look at the gas price, if you go to grocery store and look at the meat, the beef, all the juicy steak and all that, you can't help but notice that the price jumped a lot. Part of the reason is because the shipping, like the global logistic market is still going crazy. If you order something from IKEA, like it may take a long time for it to arrive and ship to your house and all that stuff. So as you can see, like global supply chain bottleneck and all that, they're just basically telling you all that, and I'm summarizing it for you. And so when inflation is very high, one of the common things that the government would do to control that or to combat that is to increase the interest rate. So, by the time that you watch this video, a lot of the banks are actually increasing their interest rate already. And when I say that, I'm talking about the fixed rate interest rate. On the variable rate side, the interest rate is tied to the prime rate, and the prime rate is going to increase soon. According to this article, they were supposed to go up in October of 2022, but we are looking at July 2022 now because of the super high inflation rate. So that's that. So you have to know that interest rate is going up, fixed rate is going up already, and it probably will continue to go up for a little bit. Variable rate is coming, it's lagging behind, but it's coming. So before all of you jump in to recommend, let's do a fixed rate interest rate mortgage, Mr. Client, this is the best for you. I just heard that Professor C said that interest rate is going to go up like crazy, so let's do a fixed rate mortgage, right? But before you jump to do that, please remember that interest rate recommendation is not only based on the trends of the interest rate. There are other factors that you have to look at, and one major factor that I often teach my student is the penalty. right? So if your client is not sure whether they will move, or if this is an investment property that, you know, if they ever have a bad tenant, they will probably sell it. You know, if you have went through like evicting a bad tenant, you probably never want to buy another investment property in the future, right? So if there's ever a chance that, you know, the people want to sell the house or want to repay the mortgage faster, may break the mortgage and need to pay a penalty, variable rate still is very attractive. Variable rate mortgage, I mean, is still very attractive, and I think that you should put in some consideration on that. And also, you know, when we are talking about, let's say, a 5 years variable term versus a 5 years fixed rate interest rate mortgage, we are talking about 5 years. So, you know, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, like, we may be able to, you know, foresee that the interest rate is going up in the next 9 months to a year. But, you know, do you know that whether the interest rate is going up or down 4 years down the road? Probably not, right? So, you know, not only you have to consider the interest rate trends, but also the penalty, and, you know, whether the client is interest rate sensitive or risk averse, right? If they are, you know, if they are very sensitive and cannot tolerate, you know, hearing the Bank of Canada increasing interest rate or something like that, then maybe fixed rate is for them, so that they can have peace of mind, right? So that's that. So let me go back to, okay, let me come back to me. And so I hope that you like this market update for October 2021. I have other training material that, you know, as you can see on the screen. I have a book that I'm selling on Amazon. It will teach you what you should do when you know, encounter a leads, and, you know, the step that you need to do your work properly. But, you know, nowadays I find that not a lot of people like to read books. So I have a digital course in my website that you can learn the step-by-step approach that I teach at your own pace, because it's a course that you can log in and, you know, learn for an hour, then you can have your dinner, then come back and continue learning or whatever. So it's more flexible. But of course, you know, for those people who need to learn through interactive, you know, might be a live teacher or something like that, I do have my monthly workshop also in my website, so that you know, in the workshop I'm teaching you live. So if you have any question, you can right away ask me, hey Calvin, I don't understand the concept of this, what does it mean, and all that stuff. So, you know, just go to this website here, and then you can check out all my training material. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my video today, and I will see you next week. Thank you.